Our last featured presentation today is going to be, we have representatives from the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. We have Rachel McMath, who is a technical specialist, and we have Zachary Johnson, a compliance specialist with the TCEQ Small Business and Local Government Assistance out of San Angelo. So again, this is another resource provider that's here for you. So I'm going to go ahead and invite them to the stage and let them get started.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Zachary Johnson, and this is Rachel McMath. And as we said, we are with the TCEQ Small Business and Local Government Assistance. We are based out of the Region 8 office in San Angelo. And before we get started, I'd like to give a few thanks. I would like to thank the Texas Economic Development and Tourism Office, the Texas Workforce Commission, the Big Lake Economic Development Corporation, and the Big Lake Chamber of Commerce for inviting us to speak with you today. Who is the TCEQ? The TCEQ stands for the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, and it is the state's environmental regulatory agency responsible for air quality, water quality, and waste management. The TCEQ's mission is to protect our state's public health and natural resources consistent with sustainable economic development. And the TCEQ's goal is pretty simple: clean air, clean water, and the safe management of waste. Our agency is structured with 3 full-time commissioners at the top who are appointed by the governor. They establish the overall agency direction and policies, and they also make final determinations on contested enforcement and permitting matters. The executive director is hired by the commissioners and is responsible for the agency's day-to-day operations. There are 6 main offices within our agency. There is the Office of Administrative Services, the Office of Legal Services, the Office of Air, the Office of Water, the Office of Waste, and last but not least, the Office of Compliance and Enforcement. Each main office has multiple divisions underneath them. And for the sake of this presentation, we will be focusing on the Office of Compliance and Enforcement, which is abbreviated OCE. The Office of Compliance and Enforcement enforces compliance with the state's environmental laws and responds to emergencies and natural disasters that threaten human health and the environment. The divisions within the Office of Compliance and Enforcement include the Critical Infrastructure Division, which has dam safety and homeland security, the Enforcement Division, the regional offices, and program support and environmental assistance. Small business and local government assistance is within program support and environmental assistance, so therefore we are in the Office of Compliance and Enforcement. The Office of Compliance and Enforcement oversees all of the 16 regional offices across the state. Your county determines what region you are in, and so the Reagan County Regional Office is Region 8, San Angelo. Let's discuss some of the major responsibilities of the regional offices. They include investigating compliance at permitted facilities, such as wastewater treatment plants or public water systems. These types of investigations are announced. You'll typically get a 2-week notice before a scheduled investigation like that. And depending on the type of facility, they're usually on 2-year or 3-year investigation cycles. They also investigate complaints from citizens or other concerned parties. These type of complaint investigations are unannounced. The regional offices also respond to emergency events such as spills, releases, or drinking water emergencies. And they develop referrals to enforcement for any alleged violations that they identify during investigations. The Enforcement Division. So the Enforcement Division protects human health and the environment through the enforcement of TCEQ rules, regulations, and permits. They develop formal enforcement cases and draft proposed enforcement orders, including appropriate penalties and provisions. So we typically get asked about penalty fees, and the short answer is that we don't know. For penalties, the agency considers a lot. They take into account the nature, the circumstances, the extent, the duration, and the gravity of any violations found during the investigations. And at that time, an enforcement coordinator will consider that and calculate any penalty fees. I will now be passing it over to Rachel McMath, who's going to dive deeper into small business and local government assistance.
Maybe now? Yes, there we go. Thank you, Zach. Yes, like he said, the rest of the presentation, I will be covering small business and local government assistance specifically. So I have been with the TCEQ since 2019, and I've only been in SBLGA for that time. So I will be discussing the different programs and resources that we provide. An unexpected aspect of running a business is the potential environmental regulations that you're subject to, so I'll just go over the kind of ways that we can help you with that. We're still here, okay. So like Zach said, we are in the Office of Compliance and Enforcement, and we moved to that office in 2019 when the Program Support and Environmental Assistance Division was created. Previously, we were in the Office of the Commissioners and the Executive Director. So our program provides technical assistance to help you better understand the rules and regulations and find your way back to compliance. And we do this through a variety of ways. We do offer one-on-one help. We create compliance tools and regulatory guidance publications. And this is all free and confidential, so without the threat of enforcement. We know how important it is to be able to ask candid questions, and so we are here to help you be able to navigate all of those rules and regulations. Okay, so SBLGA customers are typically businesses, industry, and local governments. We know that the environmental rules can be confusing, and you may not have a dedicated environmental staff. So we work with other parts of the agency, as well as associations and other state agencies, to look out for the interests of our customers. And some of the ways that we do that is whenever we are creating these publications, we send those to the other TCEQ offices to have them review them and give us feedback to make sure that the information that we are providing y'all is accurate and actually helpful. And then we also, our group participates in rule teams. So if a new rule is being created or a rule is being revised, or say maybe there's a new permit that's coming out, we will sit in on those rule teams to provide the small business perspective, so that, that those teams are aware of the impacts that these rules may have on small businesses. Okay, so we consider a small business to be an independently owned and operated business with less than 100 employees across all locations. If your business is bigger than that, we will still provide assistance to the best of our ability, but there may be some programs within SBLGA that larger businesses are just not eligible for. So similarly with local governments, we consider a small local government to be a city with a population of 50,000 or less, a county with a population of 100,000 or less or fewer, or a school district with 100,000 or less students. So small local governments may not have the staff or resources to address the environmental concerns in their area, and so that's why they are a part of this program as well. But again, we will still assist larger cities or counties if they reach out to us for help, but again, they just may not be eligible for certain programs. Okay, so here's just a list of some of the resources and activities that we provide. I will go into more detail about each of these, but we have our compliance assistance hotline. We have a program called Environmentor. We also have regional staff, and then we have the Advocate electronic newsletter and Gov delivery groups. Okay, so getting help. So this first one, our compliance assistant hotline, this is a toll-free number that you can call if you ever have a question about an environmental regulation or maybe a permit that you have. It is operated each day that the agency is open, and there's usually at least 2 compliance assistant specialists manning that phone on those days. We do have on here 8 to 5, but we do take a lunch break from 12 to 1. So that number does have a voicemail. If you happen to call outside of our operating hours, please leave us a voicemail and someone will call you back either that same day or the next business day, just depending on when you left your message. We also have a website. It's texasenvirohelp.org. This is, we have assistance that is broken down by media, so that's air, water, or waste. We also list out our regional contact information so that you can find the compliance assistant specialist in your region, as well as links to sign up for our advocate article. We also have a link designed for small business assistants specifically, and that takes you to a page where it lists out different industry-specific links. So depending on what you're doing, you can find your industry and find assistance specific to that industry. We can also meet with you one-on-one, whether that's in our office or at your site. Just be sure to schedule an appointment with us either way, just to make sure that we have all the necessary time allotted to go over your questions and issues. Next, we have our Environmentor program. So this program is for customers who may need just some additional help. Consultants and other professionals have very graciously offered their time and expertise on a volunteer basis. So it is a free service that is available to you because sometimes you just need somebody to help guide you through a process or a situation and you don't really know where to go. So in order to qualify, you must be a small business, meaning you must have less than 100 employees, and you also must be unable to afford to hire the professional that you need. So we do, I think there's just a couple of forms just that you sign certifying that you will be cooperative and that you don't have the funds to hire that professional, and then your regional compliance assistant specialist can put that information into our system to help find a match for you. Something that I know that we've helped with through the Environmentor program is for those of you that have to have air permits for the activities at your site, we do have consultants that can help you with those air calculations in order to apply for that permit. Okay, so like I said, we have a local staff, and this is just that same Texas map that breaks down all the different regional areas, and then it kind of groups those regions into our different areas. So we have the North and West Texas, coastal, central, and then the Permian Basin and the border regions. We have people in every single region, all 16 regions. In fact, most regions have at least 2 people. And some of our larger regions like DFW, San Antonio, and Houston have 4 or 5 people. Okay, so I know this is a small business summit, but I have to give our rural ombudsman a shout out. Rural governmental entities experience different challenges than the larger metro areas, and so to help these rural areas better understand the regulations, we have Jason Robinson. He acts as a liaison between the agency and local governments. He provides that unique perspective of the quote-unquote other side of the fence to the agency. And then he just works with local governments to help explain the kind of the challenging rules. So he joined us in 2010, but before that, he worked for the city of Ovilla since 1998. So while at his time in Ovilla, he worked his way up through the different positions of greater responsibility before becoming the Director of Public Works in 2006. And so a lot of the aspects of his job included maintaining that environmental compliance as well as creating the budget for the city. And so he is very familiar with the impact that TCEQ can have on these smaller entities. Recently, he gave an abbreviated presentation of his asset management seminar at the Public Drinking Water Conference in Austin, and you could tell that he has a lot of experience with this kind of stuff. He was very knowledgeable. He's just got a wealth of information. Okay, so here are some of our Gov delivery groups. These were created in 2017. So some of these, we have stormwater, municipal solid waste, petroleum storage tanks, on-site sewage facilities, which is your septic systems that you might have either at your home or maybe your business, and then landscape, irrigator, and oil and gas activities. So we can use these by sending out informational email blasts, and by doing so by specific media, we can give rule updates, permit releases, and other info out to the public more quickly and to a large number of people at once. One of the ways to sign up for these, and also just a great way in general to get updates, is by signing up for our the Advocate newsletter. So this is electronic now, but we actually used to send a physical newsletter out in the mail. But these are primarily articles for rule updates or maybe compliance deadlines, such as a permit renewal or an annual reporting deadline, so that you can stay up to date with any changes coming your way before you find yourself out of compliance. However, we will also send out information about conferences or workshops or webinars that are either offered by TCEQ or our Small Business and Local Government Assistance section specifically, or an association that we work closely with. So I know currently right now we have some petroleum storage tank webinars that we do every August, and we send out an advocate article inviting people to register for those webinars. We also announce when the Texas Rural Water Association will put on workshops for people. And then also every year we have a trade fair conference down in Austin. A big thing mentioned today has been networking, and the trade fair conference is a great way to network with people in industry. We have all of our different offices put on educational tracks where they discuss different regulations, how to stay compliant, any updates or changes that are coming. But then we also have a huge conference room full of consultants, engineers, and other people in industry that you can meet and network with. Like I said earlier, we also create compliance tools and publications, and what we do with those is we try to translate the rules and requirements into plain language to make those easier to understand. If you go on the Texas SOS and look at all the regulations, it's definitely in legalese, and we know that that can be difficult to understand, so we try to create ways to help y'all understand what's going on. And something that we've done too with our stormwater permits is we have created the stormwater pollution prevention plan templates, and we take everything that's in the rules that say that what you need to include in that plan, and we created a template that you can use for your business. Okay, and so here's just our SBLGA hotline again, as well as our website. And then here's our contact information. Again, Zach and I are in the San Angelo regional office, so if y'all ever are needing to talk to somebody directly, feel free to give us a call or send us an email, and we'd be happy to discuss what's going on with you. But I think that's it. I don't know if there are any questions.
Bueller. Any questions? All right, well, Rachel, Zachary, thank y'all so much for being here.